Previously on Science Made Simple.
In this experiment, we're going to take a balloon and cause the electrons or the negative ions in the balloon to align along the surface of the balloon by rubbing it on my shirt. Now the electrons will stay in place, or they'll be static, until they are electrically discharged. This is why it's called static electricity. One way to cause the electrons to discharge is to touch them to another surface. The negative ions that have aligned along the surface of the balloon should attract positive ions to them.
And now, part 2 of our discussion.
Here's what you'll need. You'll need an inflated balloon, something to charge the balloon with, like your shirt, carpet, a sweater. You'll also want 2 separate cups. One to hold your water with. The other we're going to use to cause the water to flow out of this secondary cup. You'll have to poke a pinhole in the bottom of it. Lastly, you'll want a receptacle for your water as it flows out of the second cup. And so I have a large bowl. You might want to try a bucket.
You may recall from our paper chromatography experiment that water is a polar molecule that carries partial positive and partial negative charges, represented by these lowercase delta plus and delta minus signs. Water is made of 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. The oxygen has 2 lone pair electrons on it, causing it to carry a partial negative charge, while the hydrogens carry partial positive charge. Because of this imbalance in charge, the partial positive charges from the water should be affected by the aligning of negative charges built up on the surface of the balloon after we charge it up.
But do you think we can see the water being affected by the negative ions within the balloon? Let's give it a try. Just a couple notes about this part of the experiment. You will need to poke a pinhole in the bottom of the cup. You don't want the pinhole to be too large. You want it to be just large enough to allow a steady stream of water to flow out of the cup. As far as safety is concerned, we're only using water and a balloon, so there's no need for goggles or a lab coat.
First, add water to the container that does not have the pinhole in the bottom. I'm adding red food coloring so it will be easier to see the water. Situate the cup with the pinhole over your large container. Now, pour the water from the other container into the container with the pinhole in it. Again, make sure that the water is flowing into the large container. Finally, charge your balloon with static electricity by rubbing it on your hair, carpet, shirt, or sweater, and bring the balloon near the stream of water exiting the cup. You can see that the water is attracted to the balloon by how it bends toward the balloon. In fact, you can even hear some of the water droplets hitting the balloon.